What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 132. Oh my god, I thought you were going to do it. Of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games.
Andy Cortez. What's up, guys?
Excuse me. Greg Miller. Oh god, no.
You do it. You do it, then, tough guy.
Once again, Andy Cortez. Give us the goods. There
Come
we
on,
go.
guys.
It's
Jeez,
so fun.
Fucking amateur
Now,
hour
I
in here.
understand that you're not good at your job and could never make a Porty plush happen. But
True.
we need to make an Andy doll happen where you pull the string and he does that.
Okay.
I
And
am
I'm wearing a
fucking
sombrero.
all about that.
But you're a little bit overweight. You got a little mariachi thing. And
They sell those on the border.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If we dial it back and then just steal those, we're fine.
We buy them in bulk from people selling them on the street.
My God.
Resell them.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm
damn
good.
good.
I'm hungry because
What?
we went to a sandwich place. I didn't know it was a sandwich place, so I got a salad. And
was
I
a
thought I
big
was
salad.
I thought I was full on the salad, and now it's like already.
Oh. You got to that point where you're at? Just why don't you like sandwiches now? Because the sandwiches are really good.
Nah,
There's
man.
a whole GOG topic about it.
I'm aware, but I'm just like the sandwiches there aren't like depressing white
More like
bread and
bland
bologna.
witches.
Ours was delicious.
It is good.
We had the
You
chicken
could've just took
pesto.
the chicken out of it with the pesto and just been like, it's a good time.
Well, fuck a duck,
good
man.
time for it.
I'm familiar with that phrase.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every week we get together, talk about video games, all the things we love about them. You can get it early by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. How early? You can watch it live with us, or you can get it every Friday as one big VOD or MP3. Or you can get it for free later
was
on
that?
youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
Kevin's not here to stop me. I can get as close out to the walls I want.
Every Monday, it goes live for people, and also on iTunes and podcast services around the world. If you would review us, that would be really cool because that helps us in the algorithms and all that stuff, and that helps us, make more
Find
stuff,
new best
do more
friends.
stuff. And shout out to
algorithm of the night. What's up?
Patreon producer Tom Bach. You
Tom
are the
Bach,
man
the man.
with the plan. You make these things happen. Gamescast
you.
has been fantastic solely because of
Thank you so much.
And for that,
I agree. It's definitely not us.
Definitely not us. What have you been playing, Greg Miller?
Hey, it's me. I've been playing a whole bunch of stuff.
You have.
I can finally talk about most of it too because we've been under embargo for everything. All three of us played Uncharted: The Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
The review's up at youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
I hope this is. Let me just.
Go ahead, Andy.
I hope
Take
this
off the
is a little bit
gloves.
more laid back than the Uncharted review. I felt the Uncharted review had to be very serious and very like prim and proper. I hope I can,
Have you ever
say
been on the
a-
Gamescast before?
Do you know what this is?
No, I just had an exclusive once.
Oh wow, that's
this is your
your
fir-
first
this is my
ever
first Gamescast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I got to
Yeah,
tell
no,
some.
it'll be like
I got
that.
to tell somebody on the Reddit today that you were coming because they demanded more of you. 'Cause
Coming,
I don't know if
CUMM?
you noticed. They like you a lot, and so I have to hear about it all the fucking time now. That they want you on everything. Is the fourth chair on everything? Why isn't Andy on everything? So they finally got their wish, so they can shut up now.
Speaking of Andy,
Get off my back about fucking Fightful.
and speaking of cum, there was a party mode where we both made cum jokes within 2 seconds of
No,
each other.
not even. It was like
On top of
It was
each
on
other.
top of each other.
That's usually where you
yeah,
come.
it was. And then you did the whole meme explosion thing with the rap air horns, and you were like, double cum joke, combo.
Combo.
That's good. That's good.
No, double cum joke combo. Combo.
It's great.
So we've been playing Uncharted.
Yeah.
Reviews up. I know. Where are you falling with Uncharted? Is that topic of the show we're going to talk about Uncharted in?
There's a
Where
lot
you
of
at?
Uncharted in the topic of the show.
so
The topic of the
good.
show will be discussing kind of the $40 price point
Sure.
of Uncharted, and because now that the reviews are officially out and we get to see everyone else, there's a lot of hullabaloo about how this game is being reviewed because
Sure.
it's being compared to the other Uncharted,
Right.
but it's just DLC. But we'll talk about that later.
All right, cool. So so we played Uncharted. I played City Skylines the first night that I got a code for it. I had that and Sonic Mania at the same time. Went back and forth between them. City Skylines runs really well on PlayStation 4. I'm impressed with the interface for it. I didn't play the Xbox One version even though I got a code for it back in the day. But I played it on PC. I like SimCity. I like those kind of games. I jumped in, had a good time. My first city failed miserably, so I'm excited to get in there and learn from my mistakes because it is a little bit different. But it's a little bit different in terms of like the way the mechanics and systems work together. But then it is super similar to what SimCity SimCity was / is. And so that was a little off-putting to me. I have somebody who played Cities when it first came out and hadn't come back for any of it to get the updated version or this new console version. It feels a lot like SimCity, and that actually is hampering my desire to go back because I love that game. That's a great thing. It's just not. I put so much time into the most recent SimCity that to go back in and fuck around with one that's different but same isn't really for me. I need to get back to Sonic. I'm sure you guys love a whole bunch of Sonic impressions and stuff since then. But the big thing I've been playing that I can finally talk about is Madden.
Yeah.
Got my Madden 18 code. Is that sarcastic or you real?
No, man.
Dick? Okay. Because a lot of people in the...
No, when they showed that story mode off at E3, it reminded me a lot of the 2K story stuff. Right. And I love that stuff. So go ahead.
That was the thing is I got Madden, I think, the Saturday or Friday of the bachelor party. So it's totally one of the things as we were getting up playing, I'm like, motherfucker. Of course, there's the code now that I've left my PlayStation 4.
Now, story thing aside, are you excited about Madden?
Yeah, 1000%. This is what we talked about in the Peter Brown episode when we ran through the games. We are excited about coming up. And if you're not into Madden or you don't care about football, stick with me because I'm not going to talk about the nuts and bolts part of it. I do want to talk about long shot. But when I was like, "Are you making fun of me?" Because it's this weird thing of liking a sports game in our industry and social circles is kind of like the opposite of when you're growing up in high school, the jocks are the cool kids, blah blah, and they make fun of the nerds like us. But then now that we have our own nerd group, people who like sports games get made fun of all the time. I enjoy
or just
Madden.
Sports in general.
Yeah. Spurs, what up? You know what I mean? The champions.
What a joke.
Champions.
That is the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
The Spurs.
Yeah, you know what I mean? David Robinson out there.
They lost Andy.
John Stockton,
they didn't win.
Chops. But no, so Peter Brown was like, well, how much are you going to play? And my whole thing is, I used to do the Bobby Let's Plays back at IGN. I love doing those because it was an excuse to play it. And I had a couple friends who have now moved away, like Sean Norton, who I used to, we'd get together. We should do this every week. We do it usually once a year where we got together and played hella Madden. And so it was always fun. It was always great. And so I got the code and I was excited more than anything about Long Shot because it was that story mode they showed at E3 looked cool. I'm excited to do it. And I like that there's an end to it. Whereas with Madden, when you play Madden, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do Dynasty, I'm going to do the season thing. And it just never ends. It never ever stops. And it never feels like a great point to jump out of. Jumped into Long Shot mode, completed it last night. I did it over 2 nights, but you could easily do it in one giant night. I want to say it was between 4 and 5 hours. It's a little hard because, I think I put 45 minutes in the first night. Then I played a bit, but broke for dinner last night and something like that. So 4 to 5 hours long. Long Shot is incredibly special. It is one of those things that I wasn't sure. When I'm playing it, you start easing into it, it's very much like, well, what is this going to be? What am I going to get? Is it going to live up to that trailer? Is it going to... What the fuck is this going to be? Because you say I've played the things before where it's like, okay, cool, in sports games you're this guy, you're the blue chip all-star, you're going to do this thing, now play 2 high school games and then move, or this NCAA 2 high school games, go to college, come from college, go to Madden, you're the all-star. Long Shot isn't that, and it also isn't. Here's the biggest praise I can give it to you, and I know a lot of you guys don't care about sports. EA would be silly not to take Long Shot in 6 months to however long they want to and put it up by itself as a piece of DLC. Because it really is, hey, what if Telltale made a sports game? It's not like, okay, cool, there are 2 or 3 major sections that are cool, you need to play these 4 downs or whatever and try to get a touchdown. If you fail, it's all right, you have to do it again because...
And is the gameplay Madden?
Yes, but it's super light. Because at first what it is I was telling you about the first night I came in and I was like, I played and there was no sports. There was nothing. And it was just choices and decisions. Because the story here is that you're this kid named Dev, right? You have your friend Colt, played by Scott Porter. What up, Scott Porter, friend of the show. And you guys want to go to the regional combine to try to get to the super regional combine, try to get noticed by scouts and get into the draft for the NFL, right? And so you go to you're having all these different discussions. It opens with, this the video we saw at E3 of you playing in the front yard with the Colt and then your dad. And your dad, whose name I have to look at, because I know him as Remy from House of Cards. People know him from, Moonlight?
Moonlight.
Yeah,
oh,
and then
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, exactly. He's the father. No, you got it. Right.
It is Mahershala.
Mahershala, yeah.
Mahershala.
He's the father figure. Yeah, I mean, no spoilers here. He dies, so this whole narrative get weaved. You know that he dies early on though, so I'm not spoiling that. So you're going out to honor his memory. He was always there. You're having these flashbacks to him and stuff like that. And what's weird about it is jumping in, I was like, all right, cool. When's it going to be? I thought I'm going to be this like I'm a college star, this fucking stud that everybody wants a piece of, and I'm going to go out and do this and like blah blah. It's not that at all. It is this very not grounded. There's leaps of logic and it's video games and sports and all these like great breaks for this kid. But it is the fact of like, you played a year at University of Texas. You bailed out. You just quit the team. Everybody hates you for it. The University of Texas hates you for it. When your father died, you just walked away from it all. And now you're trying to get back into it. So you're going into it with all this baggage on you. You're a lapsed football person. It's been 3 years since that happened, maybe even 4. And you go into this story mode, and what it is you're being judged and graded on everything you do, every choice you make. So it's like Colt, when you're walking into, you guys are late to get into the combine thing, to sign up, basically. And you're coming in, and Colt's live streaming everything on his phone.
Colt?
Yeah, Colt.
Okay. Did he go to UT with you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Colt McCoy, man.
Scott Porter. Well, yeah.
Did they rip it off, I wonder? Is he a white dude? Quarterback?
Yeah. No, he's not a quarterback. Okay. He's a wide receiver.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You're in Mathis, Texas, small town, football's life. You know what I mean? Scott Porter, if you don't know...
Rocky and Tum Tum, do they get involved?
Please stop. Please don't insult this. Okay? I don't make fun of anything you like ever.
Never.
So I don't think
Never.
They're in Mathis, Texas, small town. It's very influenced by Friday Night Lights. If you don't know, I keep saying Scott Porter. Scott Porter's from the TV show Friday Night Lights. You get there though.
Oh, that's right. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and Colt's doing the whole like he's live streaming as he walks in and talking, and like he's like, hey, pose for a photo with me, and you guys are already late. So it like pops up as a choice, like, do you wait for it or do you not wait for it? Or do you take the photo or you just demand to go in? And then you make those choices, and that starts going into like your scouting report, because it is how you handle yourself off field. Because like when you're being scouted, it is how fast you run, how great how high you can jump, but it is also, are you a hothead? Are you gonna totally fuck this up? Are you gonna Alton Smith it and fucking do drugs and drive cars all over the fucking place like a psychopath? Like, it's this really crazy story mode you're going through that is interesting. It's well acted. It's poignant. Like there was a point that I don't want to spoil. Not that you can imagine where some of these not pain points, but like touching moments are going to be, of like where I'm playing and Jen was watching for a while, and she's like, fuck, like Madden coming with the feels. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was actually telling you something, and it's so well done. And it's that same thing of like,
that's exciting.
We see video games all the time that have, all right, cool, Scott Porter's in it, or not Scott, but like this famous guy is in it. The guy from this famous person is in it, and they're in it for 2 seconds, and that's it, and it's just in and out, and it's done. Like when you finished Long Shot and like the credits are rolling, they run all the footage of them making the game, and it's all of them in the ping pong ball suits with their faces lit up and the camera. It's like, what they do for Uncharted, what they do for Last of Us.
Wow.
And that was the thing where I texted Scott, I'm like, holy shit, you actually got to hang out with Dan Marino? Because like Dan Marino's towards the end of the story, like comes in as like your mentor or whatever. And it's like, and he's like, yeah, and he showed this and he did that. And it's like, the story's interesting. I don't want, like, there's, like I said, jumps in logic. I don't want to spoil it, but this isn't a story beat, right? You go to the Middle East, right? For like, to go like to the army, like with Dan Marino and show him off or whatever. Not show him off, but like, not a USO tour, but something similar to that, right? To my knowledge, this is the first time there's ever been a female character in Madden who plays football. Like you guys do a pickup game with the army, and this woman plays, and she's awesome, and they make all these comments about how fast she is, and she's like beating Colt and stuff, and it's like, that's fucking rad. And like there's a cool like spark between them that's really well done and acted. Where you're like, they kept saying coming up, right? They wanted this to be a movie, they wanted this to be a TV show kind of thing, and it totally has that feel. Now to the point we were making before, sorry, I got way off track, but I'm so excited about this, and there's so much to talk about it, because I came in with the expectation of, wow, this is gonna be a cool story mode, and it exceeded those in so many levels, in the way of like, you'll be playing it and it's still very clear of like, oh right, these are the Madden guys, like desks are bare, like, you know what I mean? Like the handshakes will sometimes get hidden by like, the like widescreen, because it's a pain in the ass to animate hands that are doing stuff that your game doesn't do. Why would you ever do that? And it's the same thing of like, there's a couple different times where you as dev walk into these like, giant arenas and people are cheering, or you're going for a press conference, and it's always filmed just at you, right? And then like flash bulbs and sound, because what's the fucking point of Madden going to animate a giant gymnasium they're never going to use again just for you to see that? Like, so there's little things like that of like, oh, like BioWare would have done this differently, and I know they somehow helped with this or whatever. Their names in the credits. Their names are in the credits, but it's not like it's not like a AAA BioWare game is what I mean by that. However, like when you get to the gameplay of it, the first parts of it, like where other than making choices and seeing how all interacts and seeing your scouting grade go up and your performance go down, you go in and it's quick time, right? So it's like, all right, you're taking snaps in the field to screw around, and it's teaching the things, and it's like, all right, back with the left stick 3 times, over once, then X, then you have to move the cursor over to where it's going to be and hit square or whatever, stuff like that. And it's like, oh, cool. Like, am I ever going to play real Madden in this? And the answer is no. You never get full on, let's play a game. Hey, do this. You do get to, hey, there are a few downs. Let's get you here. You have to win this game because you're having a flashback to high school. Awesome. And it's also totally dumbed down to the point of like, I'm out there and I'm just waiting in the pocket, and then finally there's what they want me to do, or it breaks open. And I think anybody could get in there and do it.
The pocket is a football term.
Got it.
My apologies.
Is it hot? How hot is it?
It's not. It depends. If there's a blitz coming in, it's getting pretty hot.
If there's people, if there's people encroaching on you, it is a hot pocket.
If your O line isn't up to the challenge, or that D line coming on in there, you got some trouble. Get a middle linebacker back there, you're gonna have prelims.
Maybe.
I mean,
that's a callback to lunch today. For those of you who may not have tuned in, to our lunch
with us today.
And so the game is one of those that just progresses kind of thing. I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think there's a fail state to it. You know what I mean? Because like it is, what's interesting about it, especially for someone like you, I feel, and what is interesting about the characters I was going back to, right? You're this guy who washed out, who kind of had the world at his fingertips and left. Nobody believes in you. Nobody trusts you. And even when you're in the learning curve of it, like, there's a coach, Coach Jack Ford, who, again, is so well done, I stopped to Google it. Where I was like, is this a real former NFL coach? I don't remember, because in his office, he has photos that I guess they went in and, like, superimposed him in with Tom Brady and stuff. And I was like, I don't really not know this, because he's opening up about how he, like, when he was a hot head coach, he totally put it all on this rookie and it blew him out and ruined his career. And I'm like, they didn't just make this up, right? Like, what is fucking going on? But it's so well done, and it's all so believable as you go through it.
This is unbelievable that we're talking about a Madden game.
I know, and that I'm going this long on it, encouraging everyone who has the chance to play it, because it's not. It totally should be broken out, because it is.
We'll see if Madden sells. That's a franchise that's always kind of like not doing too great.
Is this the one that can finally put it over that hump, right? But yeah, you go through, you make all these choices. Like, I got derailed. Sorry. What would be interesting for you, and interesting even for me, because like I'm always the guy who likes. Don't get me wrong. I love football. I like watching the Bears like this, right? But I don't love football like Mike Mitchell or Colin did, where they watched every game and they listened to sports radio about it and cared about the preseason. I'm like, when the season starts, that's when I'm in. And I'm there every Sunday and I have a great time. Yeah, right. I have a good time. That's what I do. So like,
no. I'm the hardcore.
oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
But why don't you play Madden? Why do you want to play Madden with me? I want to play Madden with you.
I didn't know.
I asked you if you want to play Madden. You never said you want to play Madden.
Okay, so I am a lapsed Madden fan. I had every Madden from like 98 to like 2008.
Yeah.
And then I stopped buying it because I just like fell out of it.
Sure. You should give it a shot with this one, because it's all. Side note to Madden in general, right, is that I finished Long Shot last night and I was like, oh, maybe I'll actually play some Madden now. And I was like, oh, I got some cards for Mutt, which is the Madden Ultimate Team. I like that enough because they have like single player challenges in there. So it's like, oh, I don't want to play a whole game. I can fuck around. Going from Long Shot, which is like, hey, you're playing in this. Oh, so you're playing with these other guys who are just in Under Armour and you're fucking around in a practice field pretty much the entire game, right? To go from that with a bunch of created, just they're generated for this mode, to then jump into Madden, I was like, oh my God, does Madden look fucking amazing. When I went and actually played games and I'm taking snaps and I'm watching hair and like there's lights, I was like, shit, this game is beautiful. I took last year off, I think, and like jumping into this one, I was like, holy shit, this is on another level. Beside the point though. Back to this, what I'm trying to say with you and what I'm trying to say to a fan who finds this interesting but doesn't know football. Your character, which is, again, a leap of faith and doesn't make any sense, your character doesn't know football either. So he's kind of forgotten it all. In college, they just told him, like, all right, you're running this play, look for these people, go throw it, right? So there's a whole thing of, like, an explanation that I didn't even know of, like, where the coach is talking to you and he's like, all right, you're kind of stupid about all this stuff. Like, I want you to go out there and call plays like we do in the NFL. And you're like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, he breaks down what, like, when you hear somebody go, like, Delta, 32, left, right, Y, slant, blah, blah, blah.
Spider 2, Y, banana.
And they go through and then, and what it isn't you.
John Gruden.
It isn't you picking the right formation or picking the play or playing the play. It's you on the field with holding your helmet and him parroting it to you, and then you doing a remembering thing to go back and build the play he just told you about, right? And it sounds stupid, but it's such an interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that. And there's another one where you go in there and like he's trying to, like, the coach is a hard ass obviously in the beginning. He doesn't believe in you. He doesn't want you to be the long shot, and so it's in there and he's showing you things. And he's like, all right, let's test it. And he shows you like a formation. He's like, who is this defender? And it's like, it pops up, is he a cornerback, a safety, or that? And then later, like, you go by and you come back and do another one. It's like, all right, now show me who the, defensive end here or whatever, stuff like that. And you go through and pick it. And if you get it wrong, he's like, oh, blah, blah. He's like going to be mad no matter what because he just doesn't trust you or believe you. But it's this fun thing of like, hey, we can teach you football as well, even if you don't. Like, not that you're ever going to use this in any real scenario, but it's kind of cool.
Is that annoying as someone that knows football, though?
No, because for me, again, I know football in quotes where I can do it, but it's like when he was doing the thing of like pulling out and it was like, what formation is this defensively? And I'm like, oh God,
4-3.
Exactly.
Cover 2.
I know like 3-4s and 4-3s because of Bears defense, right? And it wasn't those. And I was like, duh, fuck, and I got it wrong. And it was like, oh God. And then it plays into the thing where like Colt, who's your friend, who's been around forever, and the coach have this conversation of like, this is how they and it's like interesting facts. Like, when Cam Newton came in, he couldn't remember anything. So they dumbed it down and only made him do checkdowns on one side of the field. And like, it's just really a fun, cool story that doesn't make you feel stupid for not knowing certain things about football because he doesn't know about it either. It's interesting. It's well acted. The stories. I mean, I was literally like, I finished it, and the few friends I have on the Madden team, the one guy I texted, and I was just like, you guys, I know you're gonna get heaped with praise about this game overall. You do every year. Madden's great, but like this thing is something special. Like this thing is something fucking really, really cool.
Good for you, EA.
Yeah,
it's no NFL 2K4.
Yeah, there's no first person helmet.
I'm still
mode
waiting for the
around.
remaster of Madden 2002.
Oh, and as a hook for you to this whole thing, right? Which is what I was saying. Oh, I didn't even. What the whole thrust of the story and the narrative here is that you're Devin Wade. You go to the regional combine. And you get approached by these 2 television producers, and they're like, we're doing a show called Long Shot, and where we're picking somebody from these things to then get professional coaching to do all these things like a reality show. And then he goes there, and it turns out, and not a spoiler, that there's like a bunch of other long shots, and you have to do these games to beat them out. And it's all reality show done like Bachelorette kind of garbage and stuff.
Let's go.
And then it gets to him.
I think they did that with the Cowboys. They had like a local thing where they're all these random like people were trying out for the team. They actually had like a show. And I forgot what it was called, but Lucky Whitehead is no. I forgot the dude who won, but yeah, he actually made the team. It was fucking.
And then it's the same thing of like, okay, cool, and like they put you in front of a press conference, and you have to pick your choices, and like things can start to go bad. Rad. You do interviews with these sports talk show guys, Jim Miller, former Bears quarterback. You talk to him for a while, and like there's so much cool shit. And like again, not by the end, even by the end, even when you've won Long Shot, obviously, you know what I mean. Like you did the show, and everybody who's there thinks you're great. When it gets to the draft, everybody's still like, you're a sideshow freak. Like you win. When I got to the final challenge and I beat it, and they're like, yeah, he's done it. He's completed all the challenges, Long Shot, and like fireworks are going off. It's like, cool, credits? No, there's like a whole other section of like, let's see what happens to you on draft day when nobody fucking wants you because they all think you're just some psycho, or not even psycho, but some carnival freak. And it was like, this is awesome. It doesn't end with like #1 in the draft. They take blah. It's like, this is really fucking cool.
That's real. Yeah. All right.
Well, the show was called 4th and Long, and it was Jesse Hawley who won.
Okay.
And his Twitter name was Mr. 4th and Long. And it was on Spike TV.
Nice.
Hosted by Michael Irvin, 88.
88.
Shout out to Chad Johnson. He pops up in this.
Chad Johnson?
Really? Ocho Cinco?
Yeah.
I love that dude.
You also played a game by Mike Bithell, Greg.
I did. Did you write down the name? Because I didn't.
Oh, God, no. I just wrote down Mike
Circular
Bithell.
something or other.
Subterranean.
Underwater
Super
breathing
fighter giants.
apparatus.
Red jumpsuit apparatus.
It is called Subsurface Circular. This, if you're watching it live right now, hi, thanks for your support.
Is
on
circular
Patreon.
spelled with an S?
No, please shut up.
Oh, that would have
Andy.
been
Just
cool,
shut up.
man.
Triple S rank.
It's a text adventure from Mike Bithell, which sounds like it would just be text, but it's not. You are it's sounds goofy when you talk about it, but when you play it, it's actually cool. And I need to get back to it. I haven't beaten it. Basically, today, Mike Stealth released this game for less than $5 on PC and Mac. And the idea here is that just do shorter projects, get it out, you release these cool games. And what it is that you're this robot on a train going around a circle, like you do it like SFO or even BART, right? Like you're just, but I guess more like SFO where you're circling this one thing. And other robots, androids, whatever you want to call them, are coming in, sitting down, getting up, going to their next stop. And so you're a detective robot in this world. And it's not, but it's not detective like you're in a trench coat.
Detective robot.
You look like, you kind of look.
Inspector Gadget.
No, it reminds me way more of the droids from episode 1. Those guys. It's not exactly what you look like, but that's what it's going for. And you're in a very super clean, like Elon Musk train. It's not like ROM 2064 or anything like that. It's like it's industrial. You're robots, and this is where you are in this thing. And so what happens is other robot, the game opens and there's another robot across from you who starts a conversation with you through text, and you pick you have different responses, and you pick, and they respond differently, and da. And the more you drill into the conversations, the more you get these like bonus objectives. I forget what they call them, where you can then take that and hit those buttons to get them to talk about that. So it'll be like, all right, I think we have nothing left to talk about, or come down here and hit one of these in like my bucket of conversation topics that come up here. And then, he gives you a case pretty much, and you start then going and talking to the other people about it, and then using those buckets and their buckets to get all these different things. So it's like, this guy won't talk to you unless you can really help him get here. So you have to figure out where that thing he wants to get to is. So you talk to somebody else, and through asking these different questions, you get there. It's really fascinating. It's really chill. Like, I was just sitting there yesterday with headphones on. It's got a nice little, it's got the hum of the train to it. It's got a little bit of music to it, and it's just going through and talking to these people.
It's like $5.
Yeah, less than, I think it's $4.68, $4.89 or something.
Stealth released a game, just like Brand New did, huh, Joe?
Yeah.
Just released an album today.
Oh, Brand New, so good.
It'll cost $5.99 at launch but it'll have a 20% discount is what's going on. So that's how it's getting below $5 right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Bithel, the homie.
Mike Biffle, big fan.
Andy.
What's up?
What have you been playing?
I've still been on that Splatoon kick. Splatoon 2. Of course, PUBG, and then we played Uncharted. I put about maybe 15 minutes into Sonic Mania in between, because I had to edit really late last night. And, man,
You don't like it?
It still feels like the Sonic to me that I don't like, of like, I have all this awesome momentum, and something fucks me up and I'm super slow again. And I'd rather not, how you can go like super fast or you could be this slow. I'd rather like this be the fastest you can go and this be the slowest you can go. Like it just kind of kills the rhythm for me. And again, I only played 15 minutes of it, and but I really want to like it, dude. Like, I'm just in love with the whole vibe of it. The aesthetic is dope.
Keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to keep playing it for sure.
The thing with that is, you're playing Sonic wrong. There's so many people that think Sonic is about going fast, and it's not. He
does say you got to go fast.
He does say you got to go fast, and I think that's where the modern Sonic games come from. All the boost mechanics. So like the Sonic Generation, Sonic Unleashed, the daytime levels, and the upcoming Sonic Forces. Those games are essentially you just hold forward and just keep it in the fucking boost thing. And it's just a roller coaster where it's kind of more a rhythm game than anything else.
Yeah.
The old school Sonic platformers, the 2D ones, the opening levels like allow you to kind of just go super fast, hold right, and just keep jumping and hope for the best and just keep that speed up. But it really is about platforming, and it really is about trying to figure out using the physics of the ramps and shit to not get hit by enemies, and I think that it's when people are trying to just go as fast as possible that you're not gonna have a good time, because then you do hit those walls and get slowed to a stop, and it's just like it's about exploring. Like the thing about the Sonic levels, what's different about Sonic and Mario is brilliant design where there's a bazillion levels, and the point is just having this great experience that just keeps going and going. Sonic games, these type of Sonic games, specifically Sonic Mania, I feel like the levels are designed way more intricately, where it is about the aesthetic. It's about exploring the whole scope of what that level has to offer, because every level has a different gimmick. Every level has something that's only seen in that level from a gameplay mechanic perspective. And I think that's what makes it special. It's not running through it, but it's like allowing yourself to realize what makes that level special compared to the next one. And it's when you look at the whole afterwards, you're like, oh shit, this is great. I have favorites and least favorites, Whereas like with Mario levels, it's a bit harder to pinpoint. You don't hear people talk, like you hear people talk about like, oh, Mario World's better than Mario 3. You don't really say, oh, my favorite Mario World level is this. People can tell you what their favorite Sonic levels are.
I think a lot of the frustration stems from, I didn't have a huge past with Sonic. Like I played it on Genesis at like a cousin's house or whatever. Yeah. And then I played on Game Gear at another cousin's house or whatever. But I never had this romantic past with him, right? I created Sonic OCs, of course, because that shit was dope.
Yeah.
And I think I was creating Sonic OCs around like...
What is Sonic OCs?
Like original content.
Okay,
like original characters,
just
yeah. During the like adventure days on Dreamcast and shit like that. But it's the fact that there's a fucking timer on the top left that makes me want to beat this level quickly and not explore.
You got 10 minutes for the timer.
I just if you want me to explore, don't put a timer on it. That's the way I feel about this game.
Yeah, I mean the timer does come into play in certain levels where the point is trying to that 10-minute limit does make it a little bit difficult. Specifically, I think the last level for me. But I see what you're saying with that.
And I'm definitely, I tried it yesterday. Joey was sitting on her desk. I was on mine. I basically just popped in the speaker so I could listen to the dope ass music.
So fucking good.
It's so fucking good. And then I checked out his Twitter and I checked out all of his like passes. I was like, man, this guy is fucking radical.
Is awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just in Green Hill Zone, just fucking around and, again, just kind of getting frustrated. Like, oh man, I want to like this.
Yeah. Keep going.
I think eventually I will.
Every level, I love that. Every single level has different music, like even within the same zone. Act 1 and Act 2 have different remixes of the same song. Every single level has a boss that is unique and has some cool thing going on about it.
I've heard a lot of people raving about it.
Yeah, and it's great. I can't believe that people are this high on a Sonic game. It is
the menus,
so awesome.
the UI, it's fucking gorgeous. I want to be able to like the gameplay, and I'm going to probably dive in a little bit deeper into mine.
Would you say you have to get good?
No.
Okay, my apologies.
I will have to get fast.
I beat it on PlayStation 4, which is what I gave the review on last week. I started playing finally on the Switch, and man, it's right at home on the Switch. This is where this thing belongs.
That's what I'm playing on right now.
It's so great.
Look at me go.
Look at you.
I love it.
See, I'm not going fast. I'm doing it
The
right
D-pad on the Switch,
nice and slow,
lot to be desired
lazy,
from,
as
but
they call, you know?
it works. Oh, fuck this song.
So tight.
Not my favorite invincibility theme.
I hate the jumping noises too. Why does Tails? You don't have to do a jumping noise.
Fucking
Only
Tails.
I do.
Stop, bro.
Yeah. Miles per hour.
You play anything else, Greg?
Fallen Legion. I talked about this briefly on
that's
anything, but
right.
this was my playing game going down to Vegas on this here PlayStation Vita, which now has Undertale on it, which I'm very stoked to start.
I fucking love your pink Vita.
I like how you just pet it.
I love it. Well, here's the thing. When's the last time you picked up your Vita?
I moved it maybe like 3 weeks ago from one drawer to another.
As somebody, you know how much I use my Vita. I should say used my Vita, right? Before the Switch came around. Not that it's replaced it, just it's quiet.
I mean, you said it replaced it a couple of months ago. Remember that?
You know, I don't even know. It seemed like it was in jest. Don't worry about it. I forgot about
Vita
Undertale.
means life.
Vita does mean life. When I do pick up the Vita after like playing the Switch, it feels so small now. It's like, oh my God.
It's like using an iPhone 5
yeah.
after you've had a real iPhone.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get into Undertale. Jen's my in-laws, Jen's parents are here this weekend, or this whole entire week now. So like the TV, I think, is gonna be unlocked. So I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of Undertale on that. But played Fallen Legion on there. It's a game that's been out a few weeks now. It's that one that we talked about where they sent us codes. One of my industry friends works on it, and that the PlayStation 4 version and the Vita version are not the same game, and you could buy them in a bundle and get whatever. Blah blah. In general, though, it's a game we debuted. We had the exclusive review as a Let's Play a long time ago, Spare Bedroom Days now. And it looked fun there, and then to jump in and play it, it is fun. It actually pans out. Stories that fucking nonsense I always hate of like, whoa, we're in cloaks and this, and the book's talking to us kind of shit. But the gameplay itself...
What do you mean?
Like, you know, the medieval,
please
the
explain.
medievally bullshit. We're going to go talk to a bard kind of garbage. You know what I mean?
That's why you hate Game of Thrones.
We got Chris. You're goddamn right. It's why.
Don't even fucking
You're
start with
goddamn
this.
right.
You're
It's
a
why.
monster.
Oh, Ramsey.
Yep.
What is
well said.
lightsabers?
Well
Lightsabers.
Anyways, the gameplay is real cool. You line up your attacks down here. They execute them out. You
Oh,
run
I
blocks.
played this game. This was awesome.
Yeah, right. Well, you played it with me at the
Let's Play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, the
shit.
game's it came together. I'm glad the final thing's fun. I'm gonna continue to play it on my. Well, I'm gonna play Undertale now, but I'm gonna continue playing it after that and stuff. It's cool. I was getting it was challenging where I was going and I get my ass kicked and it wasn't. I'd lose and have to redo the level and it was like, well, I think I understand what I did wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't block it this time. I didn't do it the way they wanted to. You have these magic abilities up here along with your regular attacks.
I'm real big fan of the gameplay. I thought it was really interesting, and it was a fun thing that I was like, oh, I want to understand this deeper.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the thing. The longer I played it on the flight to and from Vegas, it was like, oh, now I'm starting to get a rhythm with it and go with it. Also kicked Kevin's ass at the Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Although
He gave
I
me a
heard
run.
he was better than you thought. Sean Finnegan talking a lot of shit, saying he is the best Tetris player in the world.
Sean Finnegan's welcome to get his teeth kicked in by Greg Miller anytime.
We should make this
Are
happen.
you a coward, Sean Finnegan, or do you accept my challenge? Will you
Everyone
join me here? Everyone tweet at Sean Finnegan.
At Shot by Finnegan.
Shot by Finnegan. Say your wedding photos for Greg and Jen were awesome, but Greg says you're a Tetris coward. Come 1v1 him, bro.
Undertale's PS4 and Vita, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also like a 3-hour platinum, somebody said, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But I'm going to play it normally before I worry about that shit. Good funny trophy list too. I've talked about it a lot this week on Kind of Funny Games Daily, but the trophies are real funny in the way of like the first trophy you pop because you collect an item is like, I got plenty ideas for, it's called like, I got plenty ideas for good trophies. Like this one, and then by the fourth one, I think it's, I'm out of ideas, please help. Or something to that effect.
That's cool.
Now it's time for This Week in Gaming History. Gentlemen, we got quite the fucking week. There's a lot of shit here.
Now, this is my first time on this show.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
And I saw somebody mention when the rebranding started, what do you do when you run out of these moments?
This show
We'll figure it out.
This show won't be here.
There's a couple things. So obviously, within a year of the reformatting of the show,
people will forget about it.
We're going to run into that issue. We could just do it again, because at that point, if we have different guests, they'll have different thoughts and inputs on the games.
I think maybe we retire.
Or just retire.
Yeah.
Come up with a new segment.
This week in Andy Cortez.
I love this.
Andy, what'd you put in your body this week?
What I do want to do, because this is one of my favorite segments on the show. I want to expand it a little bit more because people have been talking about how much they like it. Send me some thoughts on some stuff. If there's a game that came out, do some research, figure it out, tweet at me, and let me know. Hey, here's a memory I have, and then we'll add some of your stuff there so that we're talking about games that aren't just the same stuff we always play. You know what I mean? Let's start off with this. 4 years ago, on August 13th, 2013, Disney's DuckTales Remastered came out on PlayStation 3. That was a moment. Remember that E3?
Yeah,
when that song played on loop for 3 days?
To kill themselves over
and
that.
They did a sing-along thing where everyone would do karaoke. What a great idea. It was fucking horrible, but I loved it. No, DuckTales, classic NES game. Way better than it had any right to be. It was essentially a Mega Man game. And then one day, I'll never forget walking into IGN. Darren Brazil looks at me and goes, Tim, they just announced a new DuckTales game. And I was like, go fuck yourself. That doesn't make any sense at all. And he showed me the trailer, and I was like, this is real. This is really happening, and it looks amazing. And it was amazing. It was just a little weird, and outdated games sometimes can be a little bit outdated.
Never played it. I had no soft spot for the original, so I just didn't.
Yeah, same.
It was a lot of fun. The little cane.
The Shovel Knight attack down thing.
Yep, which is awesome.
Hard to believe they ripped off Shovel Knight back then, but
that's crazy. You know? It's weird how that happens.
Also 4 years ago, the same week, on August 18th, 2013, another Disney thing, Disney Infinity. RIP came out on PlayStation 3.
Shout out to John Vignacchi.
Love those figurines.
Yeah, they were nice.
I still have some.
The art style. Fantastic.
I bought a bunch of them when they canceled it because they were super cheap.
You're like, fuck it. I want it. Yeah. I told myself I couldn't. Between Nintendo's Amiibos and Disney's Disney Infinity things, I'm like, shit. This is all.
I mean,
the
Infinity
Gettys
figurines look way better than Amiibo.
Most of them. There's some nice Amiibos. Those new Samus Amiibos, man, they're tempting me.
Yeah.
The Samus Returns ones. 4 years ago, on August 20th, 2013, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Man, 4 years ago was a big thing.
Splinter Cell that has come out.
Which one was Blacklist?
PS3, Wii U, 360, and PC.
I did not play that game.
I didn't play it either.
I'm gonna look at
old Sam Fisher. What's he fishing?
Is this where his daughter got stolen or whatever? I don't know.
It's just kind of crazy because like I feel like I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah, Splinter Cell feels like it was 9 years ago.
Yeah,
like the last one.
But no, just 4 years ago.
Huh.
Interesting. Splinter Cell Blacklist.
I was such a young. What was I doing 4 years ago? What year was that? 2013.
2013.
2013. I was in college, finishing up college, still working at Best Buy. My future was not looking bright. I'll tell you that much.
But you had a dope blue shirt.
I did. The mobile one.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. No, the mobile was dope. It felt good. Good ventilation.
Oh, you're right.
It felt tight, dude.
It's just boring.
You don't got anything, Greg?
No, I mean, it's just Sam Fisher is leaving an Air Force base when a terrorist organization assaults the base, wounding. He's going after.
It just sounds like another season of the show 24.
Yeah, no. Don't remember this one at all. I don't think I played this one, maybe.
5 years ago, on August 19th, 2012, New Super Mario Bros. 2 came out on the 3DS. And now let me tell you guys something.
Lay it on me.
Love Mario. Big fan. This is the only 2D Mario game, like core 2D Mario game, that is not that amazing.
Wow.
People can talk shit all they want about New Super Mario Bros. Wii U or Wii or even the first New Super Mario Bros. On DS.
I didn't hate the Wii U version.
They're all great
Wii
games.
U was great.
They're all great games. Wii U won my favorite.
That was the one that was like 2.5, or it was like kind of top-down-y, right? Where you
no,
ran.
that's Super Mario. That's World.
That's 3D World.
That's 3D World.
New Super Mario Bros. U was still side scrolling.
Oh, these ones fucking sucked.
That's what I'm saying. No,
you got caught in the bubble and you're like, that was fucking garbage.
They're not fucking garbage. They're amazing games that everyone just hated on. But the graphics, like the art style, they've overdone to fucking hell. And including this, where it's like, why is there a second one coming out on the 3DS? And it wasn't even good. That was the one we had to collect all the coins. Like there was there's Gold Mario, and you have to run and get a bazillion coins for the bank and stuff. Bad game.
Gotcha.
The level design.
Gotcha. Bad. So it's not even that it's not good. It was bad.
I mean, it's still Mario, so it's still good, but the level design's just not up to par. Like it was short. I didn't have fun with it. Didn't like it, and it was the first time I didn't have fun with the Mario game.
Wow.
7 years ago, on August 17th, 2010. Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days came out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC to amazing reviews that didn't cause any problems for anybody.
Nobody got in trouble or nothing happened there. Kane and Lynch, man.
Now this one's a weird one for you, Greg.
Oh, good.
12 years ago,
on
August 16th, 2005, Death Jr.
Came
out on PlayStation Portable.
Yeah, the PSP game.
Now, what do you have any fun facts about Death Jr. for me?
No, I just remember that it was like they had a comic book too. It was like one that didn't die. No pun intended. It's the fact that it seemed like it went on forever.
My fun fact about Death Jr. The first footage ever of the PSP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember being blown away, and by a long shot too. They put out a trailer for that thing, and it used the beat from "Bitch Please 2" from the Marshall Mathers LP, which was really interesting. And it was just like a 30-second clip of him just running around, and I just remember being like, "That's a portable game?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? This doesn't even make sense." And they were marketing it as like the PlayStation Portable's killer app. And it was like, wow, this is gonna be real.
7 out of 10 on IGN.com.
And then
61 Metacritic. Let me check on that review from IGN.
Dunham, Roper, Haynes. What year was it?
2005. So it ended up getting delayed. So it was supposed to be a launch title.
Juan Castro?
The site is not loading.
Great, good job, IGN. Fuck.
Because PSP came out in March in America, and then the game came out in August.
Backbone Entertainment. Yeah.
You scroll down. There's just like it says good 7.
Good. Nix reviewed it.
Mark Nix.
That was one that I forgot that they had so many people reviewing games for the PSP back then. Look at how many fucking words on Death Jr.
Good for you, Mark.
Good for you, Marty. I read Marty's Uncharted Lost Legacy review, and I was like, don't get me wrong, I thought it was a good review in terms of like, oh, we're to the point and everything else, and I agree with what you're saying. And then everybody in the comments, I saw Gaff was like, is this normal now for IGN? Because it was just like a 1 page compared to like when Hillary wrote like a 9-page GTA fucking 4 review or whatever.
All right, now here's where we get real interesting, boys. These next two. Whoa.
I'm getting horny.
26 years ago, on August 13th, 1991, the Super Nintendo launched.
Wow.
Alongside Super Mario World, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Gradius 3, and SimCity.
Damn.
What a launch lineup.
Yeah.
What a goddamn
How was SimCity on SNES?
People love it. I mean, I didn't play it. I'm not a SimCity
I never played
dude.
that. Yeah.
But I mean, that was like probably like one of the first console SimCities that actually was playable.
Sure.
I've played Super Mario World. I've played that game before.
You did? Have you?
Yeah.
You like it?
It's a deep
How'd
cut.
You feel?
It's pretty interesting, man. It's got a lot of mechanics.
Yeah? Lay 'em on me. What's some of the cool mechanics in this
It's got
one?
the tail stuff.
Oh,
it's got you eat the fruits, those Wampa fruits.
Sure.
Flying on Yosh.
Yeah.
And you can jump on those dudes with the capes, and they poop out a little feather. You can get that feather and you can fly around the world. Let me tell you, just explore the world of the Super Mario world.
Yeah.
Good game, man. Good game.
What about F-Zero? Give me the pitch on that.
Just, you're racing.
Sure. Technicolor.
Racing, lots of colors, man.
Yeah.
So you're racing in this world that looks kind of like Star Fox, but on the ground.
Sure.
And you're just racing around, man. Just like
and that
looking at
that soundtrack.
You turn and look at your friends. Was that one of the songs?
Random thing that you probably don't know about F-Zero.
The F stands for fuck.
No. Didn't have multiplayer.
Huh?
There was no 2-player racing game mode in F-Zero on the Super Nintendo. What?
Is it a play on F1 racing? Like
but it's zero gravity?
I I didn't know that.
F-Zero.
So it's Formula Zero.
Because as soon as you said, what does the F stand for? I was like, oh, okay. And I was like trying to think of jokes. I was like, oh, F1 was, oh my God, F1 is a racing thing.
Yeah.
And then F4.
Something it stands for fuck.
What's F4?
You Alt F4 to close out of Windows.
That's true. That is true. But there's also an F1 button.
And this is a computer game. Computer graphics.
Computer graphics, everybody. I never played SimCity. Pilot Wings can get fucked.
Yeah, people hated Pilot Wings. Or hate Pilot Wings.
So stupid.
I remember renting that and being like,
What
fuck
is
it.
going on?
This was a mistake. I'm
Mode
stuck with
7.
this until Sunday night.
Yeah.
So that was 26 years ago. All right. Now let me take you, Greg Miller.
Take me further back.
Back to 28 years
Take
ago.
me back.
28.
I mean, I would have been 1 year old.
So this being a big, I wasn't even alive.
No, you weren't?
No, I was.
Oh.
I was
I'm
on
6
August
years old.
14th, 1989. I was like 2 months old. Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, Altered Beast, and Space Harrier 2 launched alongside the Sega Genesis.
Sega. Altered Beast. What a fucking turd.
Fucking turd.
God damn it, that game's
Can you
terrible.
try to sing that again?
Sega.
Cool.
Did you get chills when you turned Sonic Mania on? Heard that?
No, he's got no
Oh,
Sega
I
love.
did.
No, I did. No, I did. I mean, I remember that sound effect, obviously. But.
Sure you do. Faker.
Sega.
Okay.
No.
Alex Kidd. Did Alex Kidd do anything for you?
No, I mean, I found appreciation for Alex Kidd through Levi Buchanan. You know, because when I got to IGN and everybody there was like such Nintendo kids, I'm like, I had a Sega Master System and a Sega Genesis. Levi,
That
another
is not
Sega
a real
kid.
name, Levi Buchanan.
Yeah, it is. He's awesome, and he put his Instagram. He puts up a lot of pictures of him karaoke nowadays. He was talking about Alex Kidd and stuff like that, and I was like, I vaguely remember those games, but like, you know, I was Master System. I was like, Ghostbusters, what got me in? Ghost House, those were the games I was over. Double
What about
Dragon,
Space Harrier 2?
No, well, I don't know. I have no love for that from back in the day. Like, cause you know how it was being a kid. You're just playing stuff that
An Alex Kidd.
An Alex Kidd. You're playing
2Ds.
stuff that, you know, the box art looks interesting to you and stuff your friends are playing. None of my friends are fucking playing Sega, so it was like, all right, cool. Like, by the time you get to Genesis, I was one of the Genesis kids who I had gotten my Master System at a birthday for my birthday, where it was that I pointed at. It's a tired story where I point and I see Ghostbusters. I point at that. That's what I want. Mom says I'll get it. They buy me that. Uncle Mike buys me the Master System, and I want to say it's before kindergarten. And then in first grade, I remember I had gotten a great report card, and my mom's like, you know, what would you want as like a reward? And I was like, I want to get a Sega Genesis because I'm continuing it. Obviously, Sega's killing it. Why would I ever get off this train? Not to mention, Mom,
They do and Nintendo don't.
Exactly, with the Master System converter we can also buy, I can play my Master System games on the Sega Genesis. And they were like, well, that sounds like a great deal because you don't have to, you know, get rid of your whole collection. I'm like, damn right.
Yeah.
And when I got my Genesis, it was when Sonic was bundled in. So it was already like...
Oh, so you didn't get it at launch?
I wasn't a launch kid for Genesis, no. I want to say, and it's so hard for me to, as a kid, try to keep the timeline straight. I want to say I got onto the Master System train late, but that can't be right. But maybe it was because kids, it's also relative, right?
Yeah.
Like my friends at the time, I remember I bought that or got that, and then I'd start going to like Travis's house for people's houses, and they would have NESs. But I don't remember the first like time I went to a house and somebody had an SNES or a Genesis. But I didn't get on until Sega, you know, which, you know, Blake's book is so great about the console wars, when they jump started the campaign and put Sonic out on there. And that's when I got on board. And that's when, like, for me, it kicks off with Sonic being there and being like turning that thing on and going from Master System to that. And not to mention even comparing it to just Nintendo, like how vibrant the colors are in Sonic and the speed of it and how it sounds. And then, you know, obviously Spider-Man, Toe Jam and Earl, all that. That's kind of what when I think of my Genesis era, that's what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah, so Sonic the Hedgehog 1 came out on June 23rd, 1991.
Yeah.
So that it's interesting to me because, like, I mean, I was a very young kid at that point, and for me, growing up, like the Super Nintendo, I got mine at the kind of the tail end of the Super Nintendo. So to me, looking back and just hearing about like even the console war that we were currently in, it was like, oh, Genesis, SNES, like those are what's head to head. I would have never known that the Genesis came out 2 whole years before.
Yeah.
If you
Super
haven't read
Nintendo.
Console Wars by Blake Harris, you need to get on it because it's a great book detailing that and who they bring in to try to, hey, we got to stop this.
And Sonic came in and was like, yo, last line of defense.
Whoa, I'm Sonic.
That's pretty good, man. You're going to put Roger Craig Smith out of a job.
I know.
When did SNES come out?
The
91?
26 years ago on August 13th, 1991.
Thank you. Well, I remember it from the show. I was just...
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I didn't
Yeah,
mean to sound like a complete idiot. Like I don't listen to you. I just mean, like I couldn't
it's
remember.
cool.
Yeah, man. Those were
So
the
what I'm
days.
going to do right now is I'm going to go pee, like I told you I was going to.
Okay, do you want us to fill time?
Yeah.
Are you gonna cut this out or leave it in?
I'm leaving it in.
Oh, okay, cool. So Tim's gonna pee.
I kind of need a pee too.
Go. I can handle this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got the single show going?
Yeah, of course.
I'll go when I hear the footsteps.
Just go play swords.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, or you could pee in the sink while he pees in the toilet. You ever think of that? No one ever thinks about like speeding everything up.
poop in the sink too.
Nobody's pooping in the sink.
No?
Don't poop in the sink. That's fine. What was the first console you remember buying at launch? Or getting at launch?
Dude, I don't know if I ever... Okay. That's a lie. Probably the 360.
Yeah.
Everything else, I had to wait, right?
And that's the thing where it's like dates like this get so foggy for me in the way of like I'm a kid, so I don't think, and I know it sounds so stupid. I don't know, maybe for young kids it isn't that stupid to say, but like I didn't have a subscription to EGM when I'm playing the Master System, so I don't even know. It would have been a TV ad that would have turned me on that the Genesis existed or somebody at school, and so then it is like, all right, let me wait till like a birthday or hey, you did great on your report card kind of thing. It was and then I'm trying to think of like. I remember getting, of course, because I made bad decisions, a Sega Saturn the year it came out. So that would have been, but that was at Christmas still. That wasn't like I got it like on launch day. I think the PlayStation 2, is the first console and it was because it's the first console I ever bought with my own money, where I was in line, got it at midnight, and that was that. Like,
no, I remember having to wait for the PS2 was, I remember being at my friend's house and the three brothers had their games. Like it was like my friend TP played GTA 3.
Yeah.
My friend Orly was playing Metal Gear Solid 2, and then the oldest brother Hector was playing Devil May Cry.
Wow, what a fucking lineup that house had.
And then I didn't get my PS2 until February. I think the first launch I ever got was 360.
Now, so it's interesting because now I'm thinking, well, that's gonna be. I was gonna say it's interesting, but it's probably not that interesting. Is to go back to what is the console starting from there that I didn't buy at launch?
Saturn.
No, that's what we were talking. Well, I mean, we were saying, I was asking him, what's the first console you got at launch? Because this is so foggy for me, right? Because you're a kid, so it's birthdays or Christmases or whatever. PS2 is the first one I got day and date. Saturn is the first one, and that's probably a lie. Saturn is the first one I remembered getting in the year. Like, it was like, I got released, that was $99.99, right?
Yeah.
So then I got it for Christmas.
That was Dreamcast.
Oh, fuck. So what was the Saturn? Was just this. Oh, Saturn
95.
was yeah, but Saturn was the soft launch during E3, right? Where they were just like, it's out today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that would have...
what the hell?
So I would have gotten it that year, so like it had already been out through the summer. And then, yeah. That would have been that. Game Boy I got from Aunt Del because my mom, I remember my mom definitively being, there's no way I'm paying $100 for a portable video game machine or whatever it was. That's what she said about Game Boy.
$100.
Aunt Del bought it for me. Great. Thanks, Aunt Del. Great system. Game Gear I would have gotten late too.
I never had a Game Gear.
You didn't miss much.
I didn't.
You didn't miss much.
My friend had one.
I had an Aliens game on there I liked. The Batman Returns game was good. Sonic was fun. It was just Sonic. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't just
It
Sonic.
wasn't Sonic,
It was
but you're a dumb kid. You know what I mean? Like,
don't know.
I'm playing my game. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. And then, so since PlayStation 2, I guess it's kind of a boring. Yeah, I didn't buy a PS3 at launch, so no, I didn't buy that at launch. Interesting.
I got a GameCube at launch.
Yeah.
Got a
Was that your
GBA.
first one?
I got a GBA at launch. I don't remember which is first. If memory serves, the GBA was first because I think that was around March 2001.
That is correct because I remember. Wait, that one doesn't check out. No, it does. Yes.
Or
I
April.
remember being at still living at home and having the EGM where EGM was doing like can my
launch
GBA
guide.
really take down a plane? Can it survive? They dropped it in the toilet. They did all these different tests to see
Shane.
how it would actually go. Huh?
Shane?
I forget if it was Shane or Shu or who was writing that article, but yeah.
Pretty sure it was Shane.
Okay, cool.
Was that the issue that was yellow?
Yeah, I think
With
so.
Mario on it coming out.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Good issue.
Really
Good
big
issue.
fan. Yeah, GBA got the GameCube.
GameCube, I remember Kyle Hayes was going to buy it, so
I
I
was
didn't have
late
to.
on PS2. I was late on Xbox.
Xbox, I was extremely late on.
Yeah, me too.
Look at this fucking Windows background. Windows XP.
Final Fantasy 8, bro.
Oh, I didn't see it. The chair was covering her. It looked like a Windows XP background.
I was late on PS3.
I was late on PS3.
Late on 360.
I was late on 360. I bought a Wii.
I was late on DS.
DS, I waited till light. I waited
PSP
light.
was day one.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice. I waited on that too, but it was just because I was poor in college.
I wanted that thing. I watched that Death Junior trailer 1,000 times.
Yeah,
I really did though. I was obsessed with it.
For mine, it was that I graduated college, or I was graduating college, and I already walked and everything, but I finished my final summer course, and so like that Thursday before I started at the newspaper, I went out and bought that. I bought PSP, Luminous, Hot Shots,
Twisted Metal 2 Head On,
and Ghostbusters on UMD.
The movie?
Yeah, I was like, if there's a format of Ghostbusters, I'm gonna own it. I think I still have that UMD.
You have Laserdisc?
No. It was a lie. You know what I mean? Like, it was a stupid kid thing. But I think it's also that by the time I got to where I was purchasing my own media, like, Laserdisc was gone.
From then on, I was pretty on the money about it. I got my Wii U, 3. No, I didn't get the 3DS. The Wii U, Switch, PS4, Xbox One.
The only ones I've ever gotten at launch were 360 and Switch.
Wow, okay.
No, and Xbox One. I got Xbox One at launch.
Picked the wrong horse in that race, didn't you?
I mean, I played a lot with my friends.
I actually had kind of a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the topic of the show. If you haven't already watched our Uncharted Lost Legacy review, you should go check that out now. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. I really liked it. I also really liked the set. And a lot of people
I was really impressed that so many people liked the set too. They really were, yeah.
Really nice
walls. Really into it.
This is the jump off points from a question from this dude, Jordan. Jordan says, should new games in an established franchise be held to the standard of the best games in their series, or should they be judged as their own games? After catching your crew's excellent review of Uncharted Lost Legacy, I love the review of a review there. Which can be found at youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
It can. Thank you, Jordan.
I'm left wondering how to assess the game. Based on your experiences, it's clear that Lost Legacy still offers the great gameplay the series is known for, but the story and the world building is a little lacking, placing it among the weaker games in the series, such as 1 and Golden Abyss. Is Lost Legacy a disappointment because it doesn't meet the expectations of Uncharted 2 through 4? Is it even appropriate to suggest that a game that reviews good or great is a disappointment if it fails to innovate in its gameplay or it fails to deliver an excellent story? I feel this may be becoming a growing problem in the future as we continue to get new entries in well-established franchises, and I'd like to know how to best judge these games. Thank you for your input, guys. In addition to this, reading the comments of our review and reading the NeoGAF thread, and it reviews all over the world.
Yeah.
A lot of the comments are being like, this is supposed to be DLC. Why are you reviewing this like it's a real game? Like, why are you comparing it to other Uncharted? What do you think, Greg?
It's a complicated issue. Jordan does a great job explaining some of it there. There was a person in our YouTube comments last night when it went live who was like, I just feel like you guys are being completely unfair. This is clearly DLC. It shouldn't be reviewed as such. And I responded, not in a dick way. I was just like, I understand where you're coming from.
Fuck your face.
Fuck you and your mother. Now, I was like, I 100% disagree with you on this, but, you know, to each their own kind of thing. The problem is video games don't exist in a vacuum in any way, shape, or form. And so I think when you're talking about it's the same way Tomb Raider gets compared to Uncharted, or any other third-person action we're telling a story game gets compared to Uncharted. And I was talking to a friend about it who was like, man, you know, you guys came off more negative in this review than I was expecting you to. And I was like, well, we got in front of it. And I'm like, I think the problem is we're comparing something in the same universe from the same developer with the same characters to 4 games that really were industry defining in a lot of different ways in terms of like what the course is and what the fucking bar for video games and console gaming is and what a bar for exclusives is and what the bar for what it means to be the best studio in a first party stable and honestly probably the industry. You can't, and that's why I think it's so interesting that we come off negative in quotes. We definitely sound like, it's good, it's great. No, it's great even. You know, there's a little bit in the review of us trying to convince ourselves or trying to figure out where we land. But I think it's because it's such a slippery slope and the footing's so unsure when you're talking about the fact of, well, it is just DLC and they did just turn it around in a year, but it is this, but it is Uncharted and it is Naughty Dog and I think Andy puts it really well in the review when he's like, it's great. It's a great game. This game is better than 90% of games out there. That's the takeaway from it. That's what you're talking about is like a giant overall, let's look at the video game landscape industry and what you'd want to play and how it all is going to
Also, I don't know if it's 90%, but
that's what you said.
But, you know,
that's what you fucking said.
You know, it's kind of just.
I mean, I think it's 90%.
And I think then that's the one way to look at it with that lens on, and then you put the other lens on of let's compare it now to the other Uncharted's. And I think that's where you get into it. And another person I was talking to about all this and I've seen kicked around is like, oh, well, you know, it is DLC, it is this. And it's like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? They stepped away from that. They made a point of this is bigger than DLC.
That's why I set it apart.
And it's bigger than we thought it was going to be. It is a $40 experience. We're pressing it on a disc and we're putting out and do these different things. For me, it's interesting. What's fascinating about it is the fact that I don't know if it's the way we've been following it because we're doing Games Daily and doing just E3 coverage and stuff where they were making a big deal of like, this isn't DLC. This is a full-fledged thing, blah, blah, blah. And that got in our head a bit in terms of like what to expect from it. But then even to compare it to Infamous First Light, where people were like, oh man, this is, Infamous First Light didn't get compared to this, that, and the other. And I was like, that's an interesting comparison I didn't bring up at the time in the review at all. And when I think back on Infamous First Light, I'm like, well, I liked Infamous First Light better than I liked Infamous Second Son. And I thought Fetch was a better character. And I start getting into it. I'm like, why doesn't this, what were the inconsistencies there on why I'm not feeling the same way?
Nadine.
No, well, she's part of it, sure. But it's the fact that First Light, Fetch's powers are completely different than Delsin's. So already, even though I'm exploring the same city and doing similar things, it feels different. Whereas this is like Chloe's powers, in quotes,
are the female same. Nathan Drake.
Yeah, they're the same as Drake's, right? I have a rope, I have the ability to climb, I have the ability to slide. And it's like, oh, that's an interesting thing where you can use the same world and the same characters over here, but you're switching it and flipping it and giving me something new to play with, which makes it feel different. And I think I'd have to get in and correct me if I'm wrong, and I can check it while you guys talk because I've gone on way too long and I apologize, is the fact that that was a game that was clearly DLC, even though I think it was DLC, it was standalone, and I want to say it was $19, but I'm going to double check that now.
I think this whole DLC thing, the labeling of what these games are, gets really complicated. A second ago, Limbo was on the wall. Limbo, I think, was one of the first games to usher in the idea of people being like, do we call it DLC? It's not that DLC for another game. It's just a downloadable game, like these XBLA games, right? And it took a long time, and then eventually they got defined as indie games, right? And we can kind of refer to that, and people know what we're talking about. When DLC started, and it was just like character packs and skins for things and color changes for Street Fighter, or whatever it was, microtransaction stuff. There was that, but then it was like, all right, cool. Now there's substantial single player content being added, and it goes back to the PC days of expansion packs like StarCraft and then Brood War or whatever, or Diablo 2, and it had hits. It's like or WoW, and all that stuff. But then we get to a point where I feel like we started getting that level of expansion pack on consoles. Examples include Mario Kart 8 and how much content it added for its tracks. BioShock with the Minerva's
Den for BioShock 2
and stuff, that is totally an example of that's a game. That is a standalone thing that took the system of BioShock 2 but did something different with it. And I feel like we're at a point now with things like First Light and with Uncharted and all that, where it's like we don't need to label them and compare them any differently than they're just video games. And it's like comparing it to its $40 price point, I think, is the most important factor to keep in mind.
And real quick, $15 right now for Infamous First Light. That's not a sale. I would assume that was the price it was at launch too. I haven't been able to dig up an older thing.
I feel like Naughty Dog was sort of in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because when it was coming out, again, what Greg was mentioning earlier, like we were expecting a small 3-hour campaign, maybe 2.5 hours ish, very similar to
Left Behind.
Left Behind.
$10, by the way.
And then they said, well, you know what, guys, this is actually a lot bigger, right? So they set that expectation that this is going to be a much bigger game and this is like its own standalone video game. And then, but I feel like I feel like they had to say that in order to justify their $40 price
100%.
point. So it's like, well, do we set the expectation low, but then try to sell for $40? Or do we,
justify why?
Yeah,
it is. And it is, and that's the thing. It is longer. It is this. It is longer than the other ones we're bringing up. There's more to this game. It's 7.5 hours for me to beat. I'm gonna go back and play it again on Crushing to do that. I'm gonna go back and get the trophies. And I'm gonna get the platinum in it, the treasure. So I was trying to drive at. Whereas First Light, I beat that first time, and I know people stuck around and did the challenge rooms. I didn't like the challenge rooms. I know Colin loved the challenge rooms at the time. I bounced out and never played it again, but I enjoyed what I did. Left Behind is the same way. I played through it once and I never went back, and I enjoyed the story and I was done with it. Both of those exceeded the expectations I had for what we were promised, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, if they were DLC, even though they're standalone, similar to what this is, but the price structure, because especially what you're talking about, where it's like, all right, cool, now $40 games is like that Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank's a $40 game.
Crash Bandicoot's a $40 game. Like, there's a lot of content there, and it's like comparing this to that, it gets complicated. We talked about this a little bit at the end of our review discussion yesterday, but what should this game cost? Like, do we think that this game is worth $40? And like, all right, sure, it has the multiplayer suite and all that, but you got to assume that most people already have Uncharted 4. I mean, if you don't got to assume that, like, that, I don't know how much of a like, incentive that is if they're not already interested in and they haven't already invested in it. So this story, that campaign, is it worth $40? And I don't think the answer is no. I think
it's hard to say no.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Naughty Dog games are so good, and even this game is so good and just breathtakingly beautiful, and it takes you on a journey. And even if it is a lot of the same gameplay mechanics before, those gameplay mechanics are fun.
They're fun. Yeah.
And I went home last night thinking, I was like, because we brought up what I said a couple weeks ago about, like, I would be totally down for an annualized Uncharted. If I got this every year, I would be super down for that. Like, with just different characters and give me different side stories. I feel like the reason I'm most down on it at the end of the day is Nadine's character. And that sucks, because had this been Sam and Sully, it'd be like, all right, cool. If it had been Cutter and Chloe, like, all these different things. But I'm like,
you pick somebody I don't like already.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I still really liked it. And I sound like I'm hating on Nadine. She's fine.
Well, real quick, just to put it all on the table, is it because you're a sexist or a racist?
It's a little bit of
both.
That's
what I told him in the car.
Yeah. It's both of those things.
He pled the fifth. I do think the review would have been a lot more positive had we been able to gush about those 4 moments that they told us we couldn't spoil.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point too.
And I would have gushed about them.
Yeah.
So,
well, later on we'll do a spoilery section either on this show or Kind of Funny Games Daily at the end. We could do something, but. Yeah, it's been interesting because honestly, you say that you take this annualized if they could do it. Well, for me, after playing this, I'm like, no, like I really would much rather you take the 2-3 years and come back with an Uncharted, not even if it isn't Nathan. But I'm also totally. I was caught off guard last night, and it's rare that for video games usually. We're all in the same ballpark when it comes to reviews. And now, granted, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this game's a 4 or something like that. But when I saw IGN was the first I was up last night, posted my tweet, saw IGN going, oh, okay, clicked in, and I read Marty's tweet about it. I was like, ooh, that's really positive. I'm gonna wonder what they did, and went in there, 7.5, and I was like, dang, that's low, but it's also like. I understand how IGN's scale and they want to explore it, and 7.5 is good, right? And I'm not saying personally, if I was still in the shoes, I think I would be a little bit higher than that, but not much. Maybe it would have been like, I think somebody like you, and we would have talked it out, and you would have talked me up to an 8 probably. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then to go around and I'm like, oh, this is how it's going to be. And I started clicking. I'm like, oh, a 9, oh, an 8.5, oh, a 10. Like, it's like you go to the gap thread and it's like, okay, like, don't get me wrong, I don't hate this game. I like this game. You should play this game if you like Uncharted. I still think you could skip it and not miss much because you've played Uncharted 4 probably. But I was like, damn, like these are really fucking stellar scores for this game that I didn't expect. I
want to sort of edit my score that I gave it last night.
Oh, here we go. Because you ended up at a 152 out of 7.
I gave it a 152 out of 174, and I'm gonna bring it down because I once I did the math, I sort of started working with the ratios and the fractions and stuff, and exponents and PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I'm gonna probably change it to 139 out of 174.
That's a harsh fall. That's a big fall.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
That's the way that the cookie.
The game. I mean, the game development industry. It's cutthroat.
Yeah, you know it. You've been on the inside. You know better than most of us. Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more I enjoy the game, and I think what it comes back to is what disappoints me the most is the Nadine situation and the fact that it's all the gameplay mechanics from 4 just again and again and again.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking about the annualization stuff, like you talking about Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4 and how they're all industry defining. It's like I stand by. I think Uncharted 3 is just more Uncharted, which I was totally down for.
Sure.
But it didn't feel redefining the way that 2 did. And I feel like 4 just brought it to the next gen, but didn't do anything groundbreaking. It was just more Uncharted. And I actually think that Uncharted is better suited for a smaller experience, but I feel like this wasn't the perfect first shot at it, because like I was saying in the review, this feels like the middle of an Uncharted game. I feel like this had a stronger beginning and a stronger end. I would have been like, oh man, what a tight, great experience for an awesome Uncharted. And I'm like, I would want that every year. Because I do feel like the Uncharted games kind of get a little long in the tooth, where when you start getting to your 5th location,
overstay their welcome a little bit,
you're just like, I got this thing. Oh man, looks like we're going across the world to this other place. Like, if once a year I could get 6 hours that are of an even higher quality than Lost Legacy, I'd be way happier than even getting one Uncharted every.
I mean, it takes a long time to make
5 years. Well, it took a year to do this, but there's no new mechanics.
Exactly.
That's why.
And that's the trade-off you get, right?
And they had the character models, like, for the most part already.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the interesting thing of, like, to the character models to all these different things, is the fact that what you're talking about, like, what usually, like, you know, bookends Uncharted to make them special, right? It's like, all right, we're playing as a kid, we're getting a flashback, we're experiencing this, and I think this game could have benefited from that in a way of there was no young Drake moment, like we used to talk about on Beyond, right? Where you're playing, you're like, what the fuck, really? But it was out of the blue and it caught you off guard. No,
yeah, I don't like it. No, but yeah, it did, and you're right. And I think that with this game, when we first saw the trailer, I think we expected it to be a different Uncharted, and we ended up just getting the same Uncharted. Like, seeing it in that opening scene of her in the PSX demo when she had the hood on. For us, she didn't have the hood. That was much slower paced, and it felt like a different type of game. And I was like, oh wow, is this adventure with Chloe and Nadine going to be a bit more Last of Us, where it is a tighter camera and it is more exploring and figuring out the worlds, and less walk, 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 climb, 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 shoot, 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 drive, drive. You know, it's just like very just this and then this and then this and then this. And that's where I think that they lost the opportunity to do something unique, even having the same Uncharted 4 base.
Yeah, it's so weird to talk about this game, because we do talk about it in a way that I just feel like we sound like we don't like it.
We're shitting on it.
But I do like it, and I do think it's great. And I guess, like, that's the thing, is since there was no... For me in this game, and even with the stuff we can't talk about, right? I talked about there being 3, like, you know, moments in it where I was like, oh, fuck, that's different. That's cool. For me, there was no special moment.
Yep.
There was no boom, oh, that was fucking like, it was, oh, this is good the entire time. And when you compare that to what Naughty Dog does in every other one of their games, that's the problem I'm having. Even the Left Behind, where I was like, whoa, fuck, that is, oh, holy shit. And that's just a story beat. That wasn't getting sucked out of plane, doing this, doing that, you know what I mean? But like, then there are, for the other ones, there are cruise ships and planes and trains and all these things where you're like, wow, this is fucking incredible.
I think that one story beat for me really had that. It had that effect on me.
In this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like that to me, the acting in that scene was so well done.
The acting was really good there. Don't get me wrong.
It was I felt like, as I was watching, I was like, this is why Naughty Dog is the best at what they do. Like, everything, the attention to detail put into all the acting.
I wish we could talk about this.
I know.
Because now it's like, because my thing about it is I thought it was fine. I thought it was predictable, number one. And then I think it was just that, let's step back from it, right? In terms of just, forget the moment, right? It comes back to, like, I felt that throughout it, the narrative, especially in the very beginning when everybody's talking, of Nadine and Chloe's so similar, and Chloe's is done so well, and Nadine's was done so poorly, that I think that, like, if they would have just doubled down on one of them and made that one awesome and that one, like, oh, maybe that would have meant a bigger deal for me. But that's hard. This is all very hard to talk about without talking about it. So come to Kind of Funny Games Daily next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, well, it's August 17th. The game comes out 5 days.
Oh, it's
for everyone else. Is it still not even out for a while, right? August 22nd?
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, so, well, once you play it, let us know in the comments below what you think about it and how you would review this game and how you think this game should be reviewed. I think that's the more important conversation there. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
For joining you, yeah.
Joey, did you keep up with all of my game development terms that I was throwing in there?
Volumetric fog.
Oh, a lot of parallaxing.
Oh, that's what I've heard. Like Hal Jordan when he went crazy. Okay.
Until next week, I love you.
Bye, guys. Love you. I love you so much. I want to kiss you so bad.
I want to kiss you.